Alex Pretti was licensed to carry a gun, but there's no video of him holding his firearm during the interaction with federal agents. But the White House claims the gun itself was a factor.
While Americans have a constitutional right to bear arms, Americans do not have a constitutional right to impede lawful immigration enforcement operations. And any gun owner knows that when you are carrying a weapon, when you are bearing arms, and you are confronted by law enforcement, you are raising the assumption of risk and the risk of force being used against you.
CBS News legal contributor and Loyola Law School professor Jessica Levinson joins me now. So I have so many questions for you. I don't even quite know where to begin, but I'm going to begin here. Remind us about the standards for use of force. Does the presence of a firearm play a role in that?
So you're beginning at the exact right place, which is we have to talk about the Fourth Amendment, the prohibition against unreasonable searches and seizures. And that's where we get our case law with respect to what is a reasonable versus unreasonable use of force. The question boils down to whether an objective officer in that situation would reasonably believe that there's a threat of death or serious bodily injury to that officer or to others. It's not a subjective belief. It's based, as I said, on an objective standard. And whether or not somebody has a gun certainly can play into that analysis. I do want to be clear that lawfully possessing a gun is not grounds for being targeted by officers. It is not grounds for saying that, therefore, because you merely possessed a gun, that then means that a use of force is proper. It depends on other facts and circumstances.
So my next question may not be a complete legal one, but there's sort of two different events that we're seeing in Minneapolis. Some of it are protests, but some of it people are going over to law enforcement operations to observe, to videotape with their phones, for example. Is there a different standard here for bringing a weapon to either of those situations?
So when we're thinking about this, I like to think about it in terms of protected activity versus not protected activity. What's not protected? Well, obviously, if you try and impede a federal officer in his discharge of his duties. But merely, as we talked about, possessing a gun or engaging in First Amendment protected activities like protesting, like expressive conduct, like videotaping, all of that is not grounds for use of force. I hope this answers your question because it's a great one, Lindsay, which is essentially we need to look to see, was it needed? Was it reasonable under the circumstances? Having a gun doesn't make it reasonable. Videotaping somebody doesn't make it reasonable. But there's a bunch of factors and circumstances that you have to look at together, and then you make that determination.
And the crucial word you said, impede, and how a court would define that. Jessica Levinson, as always, thank you.